The Tar Heels land a big one. What did they get in five-star defensive back commitment Tony Grimes out of Princess Anne High School in Virginia Beach? We'll talk about it today in this episode of Commit Quick on the GridironStuds Show. Like most five-star defensive backs, one of the big things that Tony Grimes has working for him is that he appears on offense for his team. A lot of the five stars that we've seen at cornerback and defensive back over the years has been two-way players. So you get a chance to see the athleticism. You also get a chance to see the athlete with the ball in his hand. And by the way, that happens to be the best thing that you will see from Tony Grimes when you cut the film on. This young man really knows what to do when he has the ball in his hand. On offense, they use him in multiple ways. He'll line up at wide receiver. He'll line up at running back. He'll also take some direct snaps at quarterback. In all of those instances, you get a chance to see this kid cut through the defense, outrun defenders, and make his way to the end zone. So you know that at the next level, if and when he gets interceptions, he's going to know what to do with that football, and that's very intriguing for scouts as they're out trying to find dynamic defensive backs to make a difference on that side of the ball. And with the way football has gone at all levels, especially college football, where there's more of a premium put on turning the ball over as opposed to being an intimidator who hits, having a guy that you know, when he gets an interception, can kind of turn it into points for you, really, again, makes it very intriguing for the teams that are out looking for him. It would also really pretty much explain why he has received so much interest from schools all across the country. So he knows what to do with the ball. What they also like is he's prototypical in his build. Every year at the NFL Combine, you will see NFL teams talk about the wingspan and the arm length of the defensive backs that are coming up to be drafted. And this kid looks to have all of that. Long reach, arm span, he can reach out and touch a guy, he can redirect wide receivers with his long range. And not only that, as he shows on film, because his technique's a little bit rough now. He's not the most technical player that you'll ever see at the position, but I think what North Carolina and all these other schools are really drafting, or what they're really recruiting, is an athlete. All right, and he's definitely that, and he's long. But getting back to what I was saying, a lot of times you'll see on film he's a step behind, and because there's a little bit of roughness in his turns and his technique and a little bit in his footwork. But you will put up with that because you know when you get that player on campus, if you have good coaching, as North Carolina does at the cornerback position, you know you can tighten up those things. And what you can't really teach is all of the athleticism when you get a guy on campus. You can improve their athleticism some, but it really, really helps to have them come in there with that already, born with it, trained it, whatever the case may be. It's a great thing to have a ton of that already within the player once he shows up on campus. And that's what Grimes brings to the table. Long and athletic, but several times you'll see on film he's behind. The wide receiver has gotten behind him, and with his length and reach, he's been able to either reach up and intercept the ball or been able to reach up and get the ball down for a pass breakup. What you'll also see some on the defensive side of the ball is what I spoke about earlier. He'll get an interception and there's massive return yards. If he doesn't take it all the way back, there's a big, big return and sets the offense up, puts them in very good position to go ahead and get points, whether that's 3 or 7 points. He's getting a big return when he gets that interception. Now, one thing you really don't see in his film, the game film, is they don't ask him to press much. And you would really love to see some of that press action, especially from a guy that's built the way that he is. But they don't ask him to do a whole bunch of that at Princess Anne. It's not a part of the scheme. So it really is a whole bunch of him playing off. What you also see is him with a little bit of a little variety from him. You'll see him lined up outside. You'll see him lined up inside. He plays a little safety, plays a little corner. He'll cover down on a slot. And in this day and age, you like to see a guy with a little bit of multiplicity, if I could use that word. You just want to see a versatile player, and that's more and more a part of the game nowadays right now because there are all types of players you're going to have to cover, and it helps now if you don't have to trade guys out in packages and you have a guy that could stay there on the field and take on all types of players. And right now, Grimes stands at about 180 pounds. With his frame and the weight and his length and just the build that he has, if he's successful in getting weight put on, he gets up to about a 200-pound athlete with his size and length and his frame. He's definitely a guy who, if he plays well, is someone we'll be talking about as a potential first-round pick years down the road. But again, we have to see that. We'll have to see him get out there and actually play. But he has that frame that many teams look for in cornerbacks in the first round of the NFL draft every year. So he's coming with that already made, which again speaks volumes for North Carolina, that they're able to get that type of athlete. That's not what they've been able to do over the last 10, 15 years plus. And here it is, Mack Brown in his return in just his second season, being able to land a player like that. So the positives for him are the length, the ability to run with the football, the athleticism. If there are any negatives, I'm not one to really dwell on that, is that, the technique's a little rough. You don't see much of him in press coverage, so is it going to be foreign to him when he gets up there to college? I did see some reps of him in man-to-man coverage, press coverage at a camp, and it was okay. All right, there are some things that can be improved on, which is to be understood with a high school player. Just as I said, he's not going to be the most technically sound cornerback in this class, but he definitely brings the God-given things to the table, like length, size, and athleticism. Also has speed. He does have, to his credit, a 10.97 and I believe a 22.57 in the 200 meters. And without a track season last year, we could be fairly sure that he would have been able to lower those times, perhaps get into the 10.7s, maybe even the 10.6s, and drop that 22 down to a 21. So that's the kind of speed you want to see with a defensive back prospect coming into college. So he was denied that. Perhaps there'll be an opportunity for him to run track at the end of his senior season if he's not an early enrollee, and we could see some times that are lower than that. But the positives here are this: he's got a first round draft picks size, corner, length, and athleticism, and that's what North Carolina is getting. Now, here's the case for North Carolina. They're doing well. They've been doing well for quite some time, but because Grimes has committed to North Carolina, I'm sure they know the battle is still going to be on. Penn State has been very much involved in his recruiting. He's taken several trips to Penn State to go see the Nittany Lions. And, of course, the regulars, Georgia and Alabama, are going to be in there. I'm sure Ohio State may make a play, even though they've got a ton of DBs in this class. One thing you can never have too many of are defensive backs. So, yes, North Carolina, you have secured this highly sought-after prospect in the month of June. However, we're quite a bit of ways from that December signing date, so they are going to have to continue to recruit and hang on to this young man. And if there is a college football season, as it seems there will be, they'll probably need to play well also, because you don't want to have some situation set up where guys could just go in a negative recruit, because, they will do that. But the positives here are Tony Grimes, long, athletic, and a guy that can run with the ball. And North Carolina has landed a great player. I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know. But, as someone who works with defensive backs and trains them at all levels, I like a lot of what I see with him. And it really is just going to boil down to his development of a football IQ. And if he played so much on the offensive side of the ball in high school, it stands to reason that he's going to have a fairly good IQ. So look forward to seeing him apply that. And then the technique. Is he going to be a technician? That'll certainly help him out on the field for North Carolina. And all the Tar Heel faithful will be happy with this once-in-a-lifetime, it seems, 5-star that they've been able to land. So that's it. That's my commit quick on Tony Grimes, 5-star commit from Princess Anne High School, who is now in the bed for the Tar Heels for the class of 2021. Hey, if you're a high school football prospect and you're looking to up your fan base, if you're a 5-star guy, or you're a guy that's looking for his first offer and you want some exposure, be sure to download the GridironStuds app. I will have a link for you, a link in the description for you to click on and download it. Available for Android as well as iPhone. Go on there, build a profile, and then you'll have fans as well as college football coaches viewing your profile all across the country. We have many fans and many coaches that use the app that look for prospects from all over the country and even internationally, because as I've come to find out, they play football in Norway, Europe, and Brazil, and places all over the country. So click on the link in the description, download the app, create yourself a profile if you're a college coach or you're a fan. You're a college football fan, we certainly love you. Download the app as well. Get on there, start following some of your school's top prospects and guys from all across the country. You may even discover some guys in the corner, tucked away in the corner of this country somewhere. I certainly have, and many of the fans using the app have been able to discover guys. And it's fun sometimes to go out and find a guy and see him before he blows up, and then he blows up, and you're like, see, I knew this guy was great, and you found him before everyone else. So that's some of the fun there for fans. So you guys click on the app, download it as well. Lots of fun there for you. All right, if you enjoyed this video, and I know that you did, do me a favor, share the video, like the video, and the all-important part, subscribe, hit the bell. You'll be notified the next time I put out a recruiting video or anything having to do in the world of college football recruiting. And if you're a defensive back, also offer plenty of tips on this channel as well for defensive back play and becoming a better defensive back. So loads of things here for you if you're watching this right now. So be sure to subscribe. All right. Thank you guys very much. And until next time, Gridiron Studs, be seen.